Hey there everyone, it's me, I'm Jan, and we're going to be doing Taurus's December reading. Um, my day has been doing, alright. I'm just glad I didn't have to go to work, because the job I work at is tedious. Very tedious. Um, Also, I hope you guys don't mind the lighting. Unfortunately, I wake up pretty late, so whenever I wake up, it's in the afternoon time, and I eat my food, which is basically like breakfast for me on that time. And so yeah, I don't eat breakfast in the morning technically, and then in the afternoon I get really busy, and so plus I'm much more active and energetic in the evening time, and my intuition's really high during this time. So I like to do it in the evening. But as for the lighting, I'll try to figure out a way somehow to work with the lighting. I might do it downstairs, like in the living room, if my brother is not being obnoxious and he lets me to use downstairs, because the lighting is really good downstairs in the living room. Um, I know you guys are probably thinking, why are we doing the zodiac signs December reading early this time when it's not December? Yes, I am aware it's not December, but since during this time I have plenty of time to record a video, I thought it would be a perfect time to get it out of the way, because once the holidays start kicking in, or whatever, once the season starts kicking in, I am not sure when I'm gonna have time. I did previously wanted to do like 2 rounds of horoscope readings for each month, but unfortunately, since I am not, I don't have that much free time, it's a little bit difficult. So for now, I'm sticking to just 1 round of horoscope readings per month, and then maybe doing some small, like collective ones throughout the rest of the weeks or so. Just to keep you guys engaged and things like that. I like to try out different things and mix things up a little bit. Even though I am kind of a routine like person, I like to mix things up and make them more interesting. I get very bored easily, so I like to change things up a little bit. Um, so yeah, we're going to be starting off with your affirmators, and this is the one that I'm going to be using. If you want to know a little bit in depth about it, you can go to my first video that I uploaded, which is a collective reading. If you guys haven't watched that, I would suggest you check it out, and plus you get to know a little bit more about me. But we're going to start with your affirmators. So let's see here. Just so you know, this is a collective reading, and this is just a general collective reading, so it's nothing I seriously cannot talk today. So it's not going to be anything specific. If there is something specific that is sticking out to me, I'll let you guys know. Like if it's love, career related, friends, family, relatives, whatever, I will usually let you guys know about it. But oh my god, you got quite a lot that came out. It's so interesting because I'm seeing the pattern here. It's like a lot of pink and blues, purples. I just now noticed that. It's a very kind of lovey-dovey or like cotton candy like colors. That's kind of interesting. Um so the thing how it works about these is, I did explain it in the first video, but I'm gonna kind of explain it to you here as well. So technically, there's like these regular ones, which usually has the pictures, and then there's ones that says a bonus card that doesn't have a picture. Technically, if it says bonus card, I usually shuffle and get another one in. But since we already got quite a pack here, I usually just move on, because to me that's pretty good enough. So I'm gonna read these cards to you. You guys can interpret it however you guys desire. But usually I'll also give my perspective and my little definition on how I see it, if you guys are interested as well. Um, so what I have here is playfulness. I'm a playful participant in life, and I always have the option to make something a fun game rather than a heavy burden. Mary Poppins put sugar in the medicine for a reason. The lady really knows how to party. So, you're not the only zodiac sign that I've noticed that had this kind of like very cool demeanor. I feel like you guys are at this stage where you're like, for some reason, I'm getting that you guys are at this stage where you're more focused on your financial or even your career, your job. Some of you guys might be even more focused on your family instead of like love related terms and such. Just take it how it resonates. But to me, what I'm really getting that is I feel like you guys are overworking yourself a little too much. And it's telling me here that with playfulness, that, you know, the title already is a giveaway, that maybe you should go out, have more fun. And it doesn't just mean that, like, oh, you have to go out to a bar, you have to get drunk, and then have a hangover the next day. No, of course not. What I mean by that is you can even start a project, you can even start a business, and maybe you can even just go out with your friends a little bit to, like, just hang out or go to a picnic. Like, add some sort of, like, tacky or, like, playfulness to, like, whatever it is. So, for example, if you're doing a presentation, you can use that as an example where you, like, add some bold colors, add some, like, weird, like stickers, attach like weird stickers, maybe add like a nice background music to it to, you know, set the vibe into the presentation. Like, even just those small things to make it look very like extravagant or tacky or like exquisite, I think it's just gonna really like set out, you know, your playful side or like your boldness. And I think that's kind of what it's saying. Like, I'm not necessarily getting like where you guys have to go out and get drunk or something like that. I know a lot of tarot readers will like interpret that way, where it's like, oh, if you want to go out, you know, especially with the Three of Cups, all of the tarot readers assume that, like, oh, with the Three of Cups, you should just go out, party, hang out with your friends. No. Although, yes, I'm not gonna be against it if you guys do that, but I'm more getting the fact, like, in the imagery in my head is, like, more towards, like, the creative side. For example, like, if there's anything that I know about Tauruses, is most of the Tauruses I know, they're super creative. Like, the Tauruses I know are either like musicians, either singers, songwriters, or artists or painters. Like, literally every Taurus I know like fits in one of those categories. It's something like very artistic about them. Like, they have some sort of talent or skills that they use to their advantage. And basically, like, even those little small things, like in your guys' little skill shop or whatever, you can just add a little bit of like more boldness or exquisite like colors to it. Or like, if you guys are writing a song, maybe try that song that's like different than the genre that you usually go for, or maybe like add some new or different kind of vocabulary to it. Maybe set a beat a little bit differently. Those are just some ideas that are coming up to my head. Like, do something like, it could be project related, but you add like a little bit of quirkiness to it, if you guys know what I mean. So that's kind of weird. Also, just so you know, I'm not the type of person that's just gonna be reading the cards just like that. I like to go in depth with the cards. It's just something that I like doing. I like explaining things. So you're not gonna see me just shuffling all the cards all the time and just reading it as it is. We also have forgiveness. Aries also had the same thing in the last one. I don't know what is up with people. Hopefully not all the zodiac sign are gonna have this pattern, because sometimes I notice that whenever tarot readers do these, you know, horoscope readings, like horoscope tarot readings, they always end up having like this same kind of pattern to it, which I just thought was kind of weird. But yeah, in the Aries reading, you had they basically had the same thing. Um, Forgiveness. Congratulations, you're being given one of the most powerful superpowers there is. Forgiveness. Imagine that you've been bitten by a radioactive forgiver. The point is, you suddenly have the ability to forgive people for their flaws, their bad days, their unkind moments, and their mistakes. Sorry, I had like a little frog in my throat. And the best thing about forgiveness is you can apply it to yourself too. Have fun with wielding your new power, but remember, with great forgiveness comes great inner peace. That kind of reminds me with Spider-Man. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the one with Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi. With great power comes great responsibility. That's just something that popped into mind. You guys can take it how it resonates. It's just something that popped into my head. I don't know why in the Aries reading I didn't get that in my head. But, sorry. I was shouting at my brother because he was pissing me off because he didn't want it to take out the trash, even though that was kind of his responsibility. So my throat is a little dry. So what I'm getting here is, like I said in the last reading with Aries, on theirs I talked about how it was more than just forgiving others, it was more about forgiving yourself, and that um that they've like treated themselves very bad. I know I shouldn't be bringing other zodiac signs to it, but the thing is, like, the way how I see it, I see like a correlation between all these zodiac signs. Like, as strange as it might be for people to believe that, like, I believe that even if you don't have it in your chart, you could have it in your planets, right? And sometimes, right now the planet isn't, like, I forget what planet it was in. Moon is in Virgo. So, it also just depends on the planets and, like, when it is at. But I still believe, like, most of the time the zodiac signs, they have a very similar correlation and, like, the similar pattern that they are going into. And so sometimes, like, I usually recommend people to, like, listen to most of the readings, like, at least, like, the ones, like, for example, if you want to learn why your communication is shitty or whatever, sometimes you can just go to the zodiac sign associated with the planet Mercury, and you can work your way from there. If it's love related, go to the Venus one, If you want to know how to improve your luck, go to the Jupiter one, right? So those are, like, some of the things. It just, a lot of people would just assume that if I'm talking about a zodiac sign, that, like, oh, it's your main zodiac sign you have to listen to, or it's your, the main ones like the sun, moon, and rising. No, I usually suggest that whatever it is that you guys are having problems with, or whatever it is you guys want to, like, kind of need some guidance or help in, like, in a certain particular part in your life, or within yourself, I usually recommend that you watch the ones that are for you. Like, you wouldn't see me saying, like, oh, just watch your sun, moon, and rising. No, just go with whatever one that you need the most to hear, or you feel like you need to watch. And the Aries and the Taurus is kind of having that little similarity of forgiveness, where it's like you're not just only forgiving other people, which could be the case, but I feel like it's more towards yourself. The thing is that's weird is that I'm not getting that image that where you're, like, forgiving yourself mostly. Like, for the Aries it was that case, but for the Taurus, you're starting to learn to forgive other people. Like, for example, some people, like, might have disappointed you and such, and I'm getting that energy that you're learning to just forgive them. Like, even though the person might not be able to say they're sorry, or that they're gonna apologize that they hurt you in a certain way, I feel like you are starting to learn to forgive people, to forgive their actions, and you're learning to move on from it, even without them apologizing. I feel like you start to realize that, I don't need their apology, or, I don't need a sorry, or I don't need anyone to even come up to me and tell me about their situation or their excuses. I can learn to move on without any of that happening. And I feel like you're starting to learn how to get through that. I'm sorry if you see me shifting a lot. I don't have a chair right now, so this is really uncomfortable. I'm sitting on the carpet, literally, or, like, sometimes I'm crouching as well. So this is a little bit uncomfortable. But that is mainly what I'm getting here. Okay, and so for your abundance, congratulations. It seems you're due for a little and then strike through an infinity piece of abundance pie. Feel like you don't deserve it? Knock it off. It's already plated and ready to hit your table. Reluctant to take it? Shut your hole. Abundance pie is big enough to serve everyone, so get your whipped cream ready unless you're lactose intolerant, and enjoy your well-deserved metaphorical dessert. I really love these cards. Like, and it was so funny because I just happened to found them. Like, I go to a flea market and I buy these. I just happened to find one, and I didn't realize that they were selling these. And then this guy was like, well, I got them from Target and things like that. So if you guys are interested in buying them, I heard they're from Target. I don't know where else there would be in. Um, but yeah, I just think those when I read through these cards, I thought it was so hilarious because the way how they like put the words in and things like that. It was just so funny. So basically, what I'm getting here is, I feel like you guys might not realize, but because you guys have been more focused on yourself, and because you guys, I feel like you guys are at this stage where you're not too much focused on other people, you're more focused on yourself. And it kind of makes sense because we're in the, like, we're not in the Virgo season, but the Virgo is in the moon. So it makes sense because everyone is now focused on the material like things. And, so you are feeling at right now at this stage where, like, it's a very earthy time right now, so everyone is like right now working on their materialistic kind of things, working on their material possessions, mainly focusing on the money and things like that. So it has a lot of that coming in. But yeah, I feel like what you don't realize is you might not be able to see it right now, but it's telling me that with all your hard work, all that work that you're doing, it's not going to be in vain, because you might not realize it now, but in the future, you're going to get rewarded for all those things that you've been working hard for. And I really love that card because it's like, it says it in a funny, quirky way, but it says it in a way where it's like, it's going to come. You just have to trust in the God, the universe, the angels and spirits that to give that to you. I feel like a lot of people have a hard time nowadays in trusting the universe. And like Alan Watts says, like, I don't know if you guys listen to Alan Watts, but Alan Watts is one of the main people I really look up to. One of my main favorite philosopher. I'm not exactly sure if he is a philosopher, but the way how like he expresses his ideas makes him seem like a really great philosopher. I really love his ideas and beliefs, and the way how he says things is just very inspiring. Um, but yeah, and he says, you have to like learn. Basically, you have to learn to trust the universe, and it just showed up as one of my recommended in the YouTube thing, and I was like, that right there was like a message. I felt like it was a message to me because I was struggling financially, and I just was stressing over so much. Now, I'm not saying that I got $1 million afterwards, but I felt myself much more lifted because I released the tension and stress of me, divulging so much into my financial life, that like once I learned to like kind of calm down and focus on my passion, focus on the things that really inspired me, or focus more on my creativity and what are the things that I can do at this moment, I felt like pressure has been lifted out of me, And I feel like that is something that a lot of times none of us realize. Like, it doesn't even have to be the universe. It could be whatever you believe in, and like just focusing. And I feel like what's really important is the fact that you realize where that tension is coming from or why you're feeling that way. And like once you actually realize it and see it, that's when you can learn to like kind of declutter all of that. And it's just really interesting. And I feel like you have to also, I think it's more important that we have to learn to believe in that at the same time in order for it to come. So, just something I wanted to point out there. Alright, communication. Wonder how that other person's feeling? Ask him. Wish they knew how you were feeling? Tell him. You've just been drafted into the communication army, where there is a strict do ask or do tell policy. Speak with kindness and gentleness and reach an understanding. If you don't, assumption will just make assess of everyone, including the person who came up with that aphorism. I'm getting this, I don't know why, but I'm getting this more towards like a friend or a love person. I don't know if you guys watched my other video, but I really do not focus too much on love. It's not my favorite subject to divulge in. Maybe it's because my love life is shitty as hell, and that's why I'm not interested. But I don't know. I just find it kind of dull and boring to like really go deep into the love aspects of things, because I mean, think about it. You look at every single tarot reader, and practically all of them talk about is like love, 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 love. I'm like, uh, like there was one very good reason why I wanted to start my own YouTube channel of tarot readings, because one of the main reasons was because I hated the fact that practically every tarot reader was just doing all love-based things. And I'm like, you know what? We have more to things than just love. I mean, we all have like passion projects. We all have things that we want to improve on, like our creativity aspects. We all want to improve our relationships with our family, our friends. We all want to, get better at a career, at our job, and things like that. And most of the time, all of these tarot readers that I've noticed, I'm not saying all of them, but like most of them, all they talk about is your significant other. And that, oh, they're sleeping with this other one, this one's a slut, this one's a player, and things like that, blah, 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 blah. But sometimes, like I said, if it does pop in, I do get into it. I try to not put like a specific, title on it. But I'm getting this more of like a love aspect, and it's something I've noticed when it came to Tauruses, because Tauruses is like a sign of love, so I mean, I kind of expected it. But every time I did a Taurus reading, it was always something related to love, so that's why I was like, ugh, I had a feeling it was gonna get into it, but I'm gonna get right into it. But it's, what I'm intuitively getting is, I feel like there might be a person, like a love interest or a friend that you've been interested in. And I feel like you guys haven't really been on the same page here, if that makes any sense. Take it how it resonates. It could be your family, your relative, or someone else, but I'm mainly like getting this as like a friend or like a love interest. And I feel like there might be some sort of communication barrier, whether one of you guys have like or you guys like have a long distance relationship. And by relationship, I don't mean like a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship relationship kind. But you guys could have like a long distance relationship, or you guys I'm running out of ideas. Or maybe you guys are just too busy for one another, and sometimes in life those things happen. But I feel like there have been moments where you've been probably wanting to communicate, maybe your guys' concerns, or maybe you have like these kind of questions that you want to get out, but you couldn't really communicate directly to that person about it. I feel like it's telling me here that whatever you can, try to, whatever you have in your mind, like if you are wanting some answers, if you want some, to relieve all that confusion, I feel like you should go straight up to the person, whatever questions or concerns you have, or even if it doesn't have to be towards a person, it could be just questions or concerns you have about your life, maybe your friend's life, your parents' life, whatever. It could be any type of questions or concerns you have. I feel like it's telling me that it's best to go up to those people and ask those questions. It could be hard, because the thing is, nobody likes going up to people directly and asking questions, but it's telling me here that it's going to be very beneficial for you at this time. You also have ultimate potential. I choose to live a life of my fullest potential. I trust that this will draw me towards experiences and people that support my growth and accomplishment. Tuning into this frequency, I now can reach higher heights than I ever thought possible. Knowing that's an option, why would I ever even tune into anything else? I'm looking at you, smooth jazz and talk radio. I feel like this is basically like a reminder to remind you that you are able to accomplish so much more than you think. I feel like we've been at this point where we've been like downsizing ourselves and like kind of losing hope and a belief, and it's telling me that you shouldn't do that, because it's telling me here that you have so much more potential than you realize. Sometimes people, like I heard this saying, that sometimes people that feel like they don't have a purpose actually have a much more important or bigger purpose in life. And sometimes it's just really difficult and hard to find it, and sometimes we have to go through really hard journeys. Like some people even lose families, some people lose their loved ones, some people even lose their jobs in order just to find that specific purpose in their life. And it kind of reminds me, like in the SVU Law and Order, where Detective Olivia Benson, she became an SVU, one of the greatest SVU detectives, because of what happened to her mom. Because her mom was raped and she was a child of rape, it gave her, even though it was a horrible and terrible thing that happened to her in her life, that was a motivation, and that gave her like a goal to help those people, like those people that were raped or were sexually harassed, to help those people get their lives back together and recover from those terrible situations that they've gone through. So I thought that was really inspiring. It's one of the reasons why I love this show. I didn't get to finish it, but I really loved it. So this video is already getting long, and I'm gonna get straight to your guys' regular Gilded Tarot. I'll try to put in the timestamps in the comments below. I know I should have done it in the description. I'll probably do it in the next, not next video, but like in the next after the horoscope tarot readings. I'm sorry if my throat is weird. Okay, so you have the Empress. I don't usually clarify things because usually in my head I already got an idea of what it's basically trying to say, but sometimes I like to get it just in case, so I'm gonna get it out. Man, my legs are killing me. I really need to get myself a chair, man. I'm getting tired of having to crouch down. I would do it in the living room, but my brother is using it. I'm pissed off right now. It's got those nice comfy couches, and I'm over here sitting on this hard-ass floor. Man, I deserve so much better. It's really not popping out. That's crazy. I don't want this video to be too long either. That's gonna be a problem. Because then I would have to go back and edit all the extra stuff out, and I don't want to do that. The last video took already so long to upload, and it's mainly because I was trying to figure out how to add the timestamps, and the timestamps were pretty easy. I thought they were gonna be much harder, but they were so easy to put in, but the thumbnail took much more longer than expected. Luckily, I have the draft saved so that all I just have to do is just change the lettering and then it's ready. But man, when I started to do the thumbnail, it took forever. It took much more longer than expected. And the thing is, I downloaded these whole entire apps just for this thumbnail. Turns out every single one of them was just, they were just shitty as hell. I'm not gonna download anymore. I started using Canva, and that was the best thing ever. I'm not gonna use anything else. It's not popping out. What the hell? Okay, I don't want anybody in the comments to get mad at me or get pissed at me, but some of you guys that are planning to get pregnant or whatever, there is a possibility of you getting a child because of the Empress. That is not the main message I'm getting here. I'm going to get to the main message in a second, but that's just a side note for those of you that are or aren't planning. I don't know, there could be a possibility of a baby coming in the way. Just something to be aware of. So if you guys are planning or not planning, I don't know how it goes. Just so you know, if you guys are not planning, I would get protected because there is a possibility of there becoming one. I usually don't say that, so that might actually be something that might resonate for some of you. And when will I clarify the Empress? Man, what the hell, man? Why am I in such a pissy mood? It's probably because of my brother. Okay, with the Empress, it's clarified by the High Priestess. So, what I had in my head was right. I didn't really need to clarify because I had it in my head already. So basically, what my intuition was telling me this entire time was that some of you guys have been mainly focusing on yourselves. Some of you guys have just like became much more independent, and you guys have been focusing mainly on your feminine side. This can be for the guys as well. There are some guys that are much more feminine, alright? Not in feminine like physically, how do I explain it? Everybody has a feminine and masculine side. It doesn't matter what your sex, your gender, or sexual orientation is, alright? I don't want anybody in the comments to be hating on me because of some stupid ass shit that is basically a misunderstanding. But I feel like some of you guys might be working on like your feminine side, and you guys are much more focusing on taking care of yourself, taking care of like nurturing yourself. You guys might also be at this. So I feel like some of you guys have been working on yourselves like spiritually, or like maybe improving your intuition. Like some of you guys might actually get more into like spirituality. That's just something that I got for some of you guys. Like some of you guys might go more deeper into it. Like some of you guys might do more research. Some of you guys might actually do tarot readings. I feel like you guys might be like receiving more knowledge about spirituality, or like ways to improve your intuition and such. If that's your guys' goals, it's telling me that it's going to happen and it's going to be really well. But it's telling me here that you guys are doing pretty good. If you guys aren't doing good now, it's telling me you guys will be doing good because you guys are going to be in this beautiful Empress energy. You guys are going to be beautiful. You guys are going to be handsome. You guys are going to be glowing. And what I'm mainly getting from it is you guys are going to be really good independently. Like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, if you guys haven't ever felt really good independently, or if you guys have independently, I think this might be a period of time where you guys feel so good to be independent in like forever. Like, some of you guys might feel like you guys been with people who've been draining you, like emotionally draining you, or even physically draining you. And it's telling me here that some of you guys, you're going to feel like, even though you might like lose people, or even though like you might feel lonely, like be alone, not lonely, but you might be alone and you might not be with everybody. I feel like you're gonna be so happy being very independent because you get to focus on yourself. You get to focus on loving yourself and caring about and nurturing about yourself, and that's mainly what I'm getting for you guys. So that is a really beautiful energy to be in. Like the Empress and High Priestess, the like major arcana cards, that is a really beautiful energy there. That is some major improvements that are going to be coming into your life, Taurus. So that is all that I have for you guys for the month of December. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good rest of your day, night, or whatever time of day you guys are in. So, see ya. Bye.